Greetings. Welcome to Katha-chitram. This story is based on a beautiful event in the Aranya Parva from the Srimad Mahabharata composed by the great sage Vyasa. The exiled Pandavas were on a pilgrimage under the guidance of sage Lomasha and reached the Badrikashrama located in the Himalayas. Arjuna, after a mighty penance in Indrakila mountains, had obtained the Pashupatastra from Lord Shiva and continued his journey to heaven on Lord Indra's invitation. It was nearing 5 years since he was gone. This story is based on an enthralling event that takes place at the same time. Situated amongst the impassable mountains, innumerable wild beasts, dense forests of the Gandhamadana mountains, was Badari's Naranarayana ashrama. One day, a beautiful flower came floating in the soothing Himalayan wind and landed near the hermitage. Draupadi happened to chance upon this beautiful flower and smelt its beautiful fragrance. She lost herself in the beauty and sweet fragrance of the divine flower and momentarily forgot her years of misery and humiliations. Remembering sadly that Arjuna was not there to share her excitement, she called out to Bhima sweetly and said, "Oh Bhima! Did you behold this exquisite Saugandhika flower? I do not know from where it came here, but its fragrance is filling this entire place. I will make a gift of this to Yudhishthira. Will you please get me more of these? You will if you truly love me." Bhima had been extremely disheartened by the plight of gentle Draupadi during exile. He painfully recalled that she had fallen and hurt herself while climbing a steep, rocky mountain. "Draupadi has never desired anything from me all these years. Now too she is seeking an ordinary thing, a flower, just a flower. Am I so incapable that I cannot even fetch a flower for her?" he thought to himself. "Here I go, Panchali," he thundered at her, collecting his arms and at once flung in the direction of the flower. Bhima set off valiantly, climbing up and down several steep mountains. He continued his journey tirelessly. He rushed through his path in zeal, scaring all wildlife on his expedition. He cared not to notice the animals that ran away in fear, the creepers and shrubs which got trampled, or the fruits and berries that he trod on. He could only smell the faint fragrance of the Saugandhika flower, occasionally carried by air. His focus was only on getting that flower to his Panchali and was ready to do anything for accomplishing that mission. Being guided by the smell of the unseen flower, Bhima entered a dark and dense plantain forest. The path was narrow, cramped, and rough in this area. Tall banana trees had filled the entire area. Their rich foliage had made it difficult for the sun's rays to reach the forest floor. In the very same plantain forest, Hanuman, who was meditating upon Sri Rama, was awoken suddenly by Bhima's uproar. Immediately divining in Bhima's intentions, Hanuman thought with a wry smile, "Bhima thinks he can win anything with his enormous physical power. This is the land of the Yakshas, Gandharvas, Devas, Siddhas, and other celestials. If he continues to create havoc, he will be cursed, let alone finding that flower. I must stop him." Thus thinking, the mighty ape slapped his powerful tail on the rocks with a lightning-like thud. The surrounding mountains reverberated with the booming sound. Having done so, Hanuman took on the guise of an old and frail monkey and leaned against a rock in the path of Bhima, extending his tail lengthily across the trail. Hurrying through the plantain grove with great destruction in order to not miss the trail of the smell of the Saugandhika flower, Bhima suddenly turned upon hearing a loud noise and headed towards its source. Soon he came upon the old monkey, resting with its tail blocking his way. "Hey, you old monkey, get out of my way!" raged Bhima, staring down at Hanuman in contempt. Huh? I was sleeping peacefully to myself here. What an uproar, young man. And do you not know how to address your elders?" he concluded in a slow, tremulous tone. "Before my mighty mace comes down on your head and smashes it, remove your tail and give me passage," retorted Bhima. Ayo! Good heavens, shuddered Hanuman dramatically. Just the sight of your heavily built body is enough to send shivers down my spine. Now, how am I to survive a blow from that sinister weapon of yours? Listen, child, I am aged, old and tired. I don't have the strength to even roll over. How am I going to move my tail? You can go ahead and cross over me. I shall not mind a bit. You are definitely just a lowly monkey and an arrogant one at that. For the sole reason that crossing any living being is forbidden in the scriptures, I am telling you, move aside and let me carry on. I don't have time to waste blithering with you. I am on a mission. Did you understand that now? Or do you want me to explain in a different way? My mace is truly an excellent teacher, by the way, said an angry Bhimasena. My good man, please don't terrify my poor self by talking about your big gada. I really am just an old monkey lying here, not any other person in disguise. But pray tell me one thing though. Humans usually don't come here. Who are you? Why have you come here? Where are you Oh, do please tell me if you please to do so. Hanuman, in a very convincing, tired voice, said, I am the son of King Pandu, the great Chandravamsha, proclaimed Bhima in a bragging tone. I was born to Kunti Devi with the grace of Lord Vayu. I am the younger brother of the monarch of Indraprastha, Yudhishthira. People call me Bhimasena. I am searching for the Saugandhika flowers that my dear wife Draupadi has set her mind on. I have come all the way here to fulfill my promise to her. Oh, is that so? Happy to hear your introduction. But let me tell you, there is no way ahead. There are only huge mountains that are impossible to climb. For a human like you, however powerful you might be, this is a task not meant to be realized. You've come so far. Do one thing. Take these delicious bananas, feast on them, and go back. This is an impossible mission for you, teased Hanuman. Oi! Don't you dare think me weak. I am just like Hanuman of Treta Yuga, who crossed the ocean in one leap. I too, like my older brother of yore, can cross over you in just a skip. But I have not done so for the sole reason that I must not cross over any living being. So move aside, said Bhima, exasperated. I completely understand, but I do not have the strength to move. I pray you move my tail aside yourself and go. It'll do you good, replied Hanuman, chuckling to himself. An angry Bhima mumbled, this was the one last thing that was left to do yet. He's as old as a banyan tree but does not want to die. What good is a long life if one is unable to even move their body? And tried to move the tail with his left hand. Alas, the tail stubbornly refused to budge. What? Is this tail stuck to the ground or what? He wondered, and tried to lift it again, now with both his hands. He was shocked when the tail didn't even move an inch aside. Bhima glanced at the monkey for a moment. No. Hanuman was still whining in misery. What was going on? Meanwhile, as Bhima racked his brains about this all-powerful tail, Hanuman was enjoying looking at his younger brother's distress. Finally, Bhima, with all his might, kneeling down, bulging his chest out, positioning himself for an acute vision of the tail, took a deep breath, lifted his chin and tried to move the tail with all his might. Streams of sweat flowed down Bhimasena's body, but the tail did not move an inch. Bhima was overcome with shame. Bowing down with the hands folded, he humbly asked, "Who are you? Even though you are like a normal monkey, you surely are not. Pray tell me, I couldn't even move your tail by a hair's width. You are not who you appear to be. Please tell me, who are you?" "Well, I am the son of Kesari's wife Anjana, born with the grace of Vayu. I am Sri Rama's messenger. Everyone lovingly calls me Hanuman. Hanuman. Now I live here eating bananas," Hanuman replied casually in a small voice. Bhima, aghast with shocked surprise, said, "Come again? What did you say? Are you the same Hanuman who crossed the vast ocean with one leap to find Sita Devi? Are you Hanuman, my older brother? Oh, what a fool I have been! I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I did not know." Saying so, Bhima fell at the feet of his older brother Hanuman. "Yes, I am the same Hanuman you speak of. The way ahead is a very tough one. If not careful, you might land yourself in trouble or even be cursed, which is why I stopped you," Hanuman replied. "Brother, I had heard you had assumed a huge form to cross the ocean. Please show me that form of yours. Relate to me the divine story behind it too. Please don't refuse," humbly pleaded Bhima. Giving in to Bhima's repeated requests, Hanuman briefly narrated the Ramayana to him. When narrating the incident of Sita Devi's kidnapping and how he grew tall till the sky of the Mahendra Parvata, Hanuman assumed his mighty form. He grew so tall and big that Hanuman looked all-pervading, that Bhima's eye failed to go past Hanuman's chest, let alone his head. Hanuman looked magnificent, his form so all-encompassing, with his huge head stroking the clouds and all beyond it. It was as if a new golden mountain had been added to the Himalayan range, shining bright as a star.
पश्येति विश्वमयरूपं रूपकल्पं प्राभञ्जनिं निजवरावरजस्य तुष्ट्यै प्रादर्शयद्दिनमणिस्फुरणारुणाङ्गः प्रालम्बतास्य हरिचापरुजाथ वालः.
Bhima shivered in awe as he saw the Virata Rupa of Hanuman. He could not open his eyes and bear the radiance nor the bright light. Realizing how puny he was in front of the magnificent, Bhima said with folded hands, "O Lord, please forgive me, I have erred. I cannot behold you in your mighty all-encompassing form. Please revert yourself to your usual form." Hanuman, resuming his usual form, embraced his younger brother with love and affection. That one divine hug filled Bhima with boundless hope, strength, and self-confidence. "Dear brother, please bless and support us in the forthcoming war and help us win," he begged of Hanuman with great respect. Hanuman said reassuringly, "So be it. O Bhima, you will all see Arjuna very soon. In the Kurukshetra war, the victory will be yours. I will reside in Arjuna's flag and scare your enemies with my great roar. The Saugandhika flowers that you are looking for are hardly any distance from here. It grows in Kubera's garden named Chaitrarata. Always remember the Devatas are meant to be respected. Be careful. Don't be in a haste to accomplish your mission. And walk on the path of righteousness. Your physical strength alone won't rescue you everywhere." And saying so, Hanuman showed Bhima the way to Kubera's gardens and went back to his meditation. Bowing one last time to Hanuman, Bhima continued on his way towards the garden without any of his previous arrogance. He reached Kubera's garden and found a pond filled with the divine Saugandhika flowers. Thrashing all the guards, Bhima drank the cool water of the pond, swam around, and picked a huge bundle of the Saugandhika flowers. Oh, I am so late! Draupadi would have become anxious, and I didn't even inform my brothers of coming here. I must return at once, he thought to himself, and started walking down briskly. Bhima happily reminisced that he had the chance to meet his older brother Hanuman due to Draupadi's request. He kept recollecting his encounter with him, hearing the Ramayana in his brother's own words, seeing his Vishwarupa, receiving his blessing and assurances for the war. Bhima, with a happy spring in his steps, hopped down the jungles of the Gandhamadana to share his wonderful encounter and divine blessing of Arjuna's becoming Kapidwaja with his brothers and Draupadi.
जनातनयं दृष्ट्वा विपिनेषु वृकोदरः पार्थकेतनता सिद्ध्यै प्रार्थयामास मारुतिम्.
We thank each and every one of you for staying behind with us to learn about Bhima's interesting and divine encounter with Hanuman. We hope you liked this Katha-chitram. Shubham.